How does California's CEQA law affect development projects? Imagine trying to build a new apartment complex or a highway in California and suddenly hitting a maze of rules and reviews. That's what dealing with the California Environmental Quality Act can feel like. This law requires state and local agencies to check how a project might impact the environment before giving the green light. It sounds simple, but it can turn into a long, complicated process. Developers often face detailed studies, public hearings, and sometimes even legal battles that can delay or stop projects altogether. California's quirky legal landscape makes CEQA especially notable. It's known for being complex and sometimes even bizarre. For example, a project might need to look at noise, air quality, water use, and impacts on wildlife. If any of these concerns are significant, the project can be halted until issues are addressed. This process can take years and cost thousands of dollars. Sometimes, environmental groups use CEQA to challenge projects they don't like, which can slow down development even more. But things are changing. In 2025, California introduced major reforms to make CEQA less of a hurdle for certain projects. These reforms aim to speed things up, especially for building more homes and infrastructure. One big change is the creation of exemptions. For instance, urban infill housing projects, those built in already developed areas, can now skip some parts of the environmental review if they meet specific rules. These rules include size limits, a requirement that most of the project is residential, and that it follows local zoning and plans. Another reform, called Assembly Bill 130, allows many multifamily housing projects in cities to get a CEQA exemption if they meet conditions like size and location. This helps speed up housing construction by reducing the risk of lawsuits and lengthy reviews. However, projects on hazardous sites or involving historic buildings still need full reviews. Senate Bill 131 gives the governor the power to fast-track large private projects that support infrastructure, climate resilience, and housing goals. Despite these reforms, CEQA remains a tricky law. Its rules are often vague, especially about what qualifies for exemptions. Developers now have new options to avoid the full process, but they need to follow detailed criteria carefully. They also need to stay updated on new guidelines and seek legal advice early. Public agencies and builders must adapt their procedures to these changes. Overall, CEQA's influence on development projects is still strong but shifting. It used to be a broad environmental gatekeeper, but now it's more targeted. Projects aligned with California's goals for housing and climate are more likely to benefit from exemptions. This law's evolution shows California's ongoing balancing act between protecting the environment and building the infrastructure and homes the state needs.